Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to the Stand Up Record Straight podcast. It's your boy Vic Slang Hope.
Hey, girl, Kai.
And today we're going to talk about should women be submissive? Is that the title? Yeah, right? Should women be submissive? So, yeah, go ahead. I'm going to let you take the ball on this one.
Take the lead. Um, okay. Um, I think that people have to figure out what works for them. I don't think that submission works for every single relationship. And I think that it's all about what you can afford. And when I say afford, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about always monetary, but submission means submission without reciprocity is abuse, right? So if I demand for you to submit to me, what am I providing you, right? I can't demand anybody to submit to me and I'm not giving them anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's about what you can afford, right? So I think that most men, well, not most men, but I think that some men can't afford the submission that they want, and I don't think that you can demand. Well, hold on. Before I get into all of that, I'm sorry. I meant to do this in the beginning, right? So what made me think about this is that the game, right? So the game had tweeted this tweet, whatever, that had a few people talking about it. And before I even get into it, right, like the game is corny, right? Definitely. Just putting that out there. I do not look at the game for any type of advice or anything like that. But he basically said something along the lines of his woman is not basically she not paying the bill, she not paying rent, she ain't paying nothing. This and the third, boom, boom, and everybody went crazy. Um, he said if she taking care of the kids, she taking care of the house, this, that, and the third, boom, boom, then I'm not expecting her to bring nothing to the table. That's just my definition of what a man is. So, a few people commented. Some people said, you know, they didn't agree with that. Another dude made like a little funny post, and he basically said in the post, he said that something along the lines of, and don't quote me because I don't remember it word for word, but basically in his situation, she paying half of rent. You know what I'm saying? She paying half of the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? You want to get your nails done, you go get your nails done. You the groceries, you buy the groceries. The center third, boom, boom. She gonna have a job too. She gonna have to bring something to the table too, right? And so I understand that, but I thought about it in a larger picture. And I thought about like in terms of kids, right, and building a household and building an actual family unit. Um, it can't work that way, right? Whoever decides to take care of the kids, and that doesn't necessarily have to be the wife or the mother, right? Whoever decides to take care of the kids, that's a job in and of itself, right? So if we are agreeing to bring 50-50 to the table, if we are agreeing that I'm going to be paying half the rent, you're going to be paying half the rent, these household duties and these parental duties have to be split half and half. And majority of the time, that's not usually what happens. Usually one person, whether it be the mother or the father, are going to take on majority of these household or these parental responsibilities. Somebody's going to pick up the kids every single day from work. Somebody's going to get the kids up every single day to go to school. Somebody's going to be cooking all the meals. This is usually what happens, right, in usual situations. So whoever's taking care of the household in those senses, you cannot demand for them to go and work 40, 50 hours a week, the same amount of time that you work in, and bring in the same amount of income that you're bringing into the table. So that's really what sparked this conversation just before I got into all that other stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. What you doing, though? What you doing? I'm pretty sure the viewers want to know what you doing. What you doing?
I'm submitting, but the question is, who am I submitting to, right? And that's something that I take into account when I think about my partner and I think about the type of man that I want to be with. Um, yeah, the man that I, the man that I'm going to be with is the type of man that I can submit to. I want to.
Okay. All right. So, which is the type of man that,
I mean, there's a lot of things that it entails, but I think it's about, at the end of the day, I think it all boils down to trust. And it doesn't mean that my input is not something that is regarded, right? It doesn't mean that we don't have conversations about certain decisions that we're going to make, but it means that at the end of the day, you have the final decision, and I'm trusting you that, you know what, I might have an opinion on something, but somebody might be like, you know what, my partner might be like, you know what, I don't think that's the right thing. Let's do it this way. And my reaction is not to come and bogart and try to be like, no, we doing it this way. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Even if, I may not agree with it, I'm going to be like, you know what? all right, I'm trusting in you to lead me, to lead my children, to lead this household. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it boils down to me. I have to trust you, have to trust your integrity, your morals, how you live your life outside of me. You know what I'm saying? But that's something that also I have to be cognizant before I make that decision to be with a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think when it comes to submission, right? Like I think like this is something I think like society is changing, relationships are changing. I think like and what people fail to realize is this, right? Because people are so easily swayed by society, right? And I tell people all the time that people don't change. Humans don't change, right? Like everything else around them does. So technology changes, information, right? And even the information that gets written in new books is always taken from like there's always a lot of like chunks taken from something that somebody previously wrote or something that somebody previously said. So with that being said, it's like yeah, the way the travel changes, right? Like now we take planes, we won't be riding on horses or long boat trips. So a lot of things have changed, technology and some information and travel and things like that, right? But humans always kind of like remain the same, right? Like humans that was like 1,000 years ago, people were doing a certain thing, right? They was moved by carnal desire. Like you said in one of the episodes, you said prostitution is like the oldest profession, right? Like people always been paying for beauty, right? They always been paying for sex. They always been doing certain things. And I just think that it just might look a little different now, right? We got technology now, right? So people be on Instagram. It's easier to sell your stuff. You don't gotta before you used to have to go on the block looking for kitty. Now you could just go online somewhere and you could buy it. You could set up an arrangement. So things have changed in that nature, but people still been the same. So I say that to say that like I think that
Excuse me.
bless. So I think that like when it comes to submission, like some people ideologies have changed, but I think like you said, like I think deep down, like people still want to submit. I think deep down, people, women, right, deep down, like, and some women might say like, oh, I'm gonna submit to the right one. I'm not just gonna submit to anybody. And but I think like I don't know, like I don't know how to really feel about it because I feel like I really like at the end of the day, I just want respect. I just want somebody to respect me. I think like, and I think that sometimes, like what we starting to see in society, it's like women don't value men. Like really, women don't value black men who don't make a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Um. So, so women don't value men who make who make a certain amount of money. So it's like it's like yo, like it's almost like it's almost like you're putting a price on submission, and that's kind of like what you said. You was like, oh, like I'm submitting, but then like it's like it comes at a price. It comes at like you got to do. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, and I forgot verbatim. Like I just feel like my brain is all over the place. But verbatim, I forgot exactly what you said. But it's almost like you know you you put in that's like the price, right? Like that's like all right, you doing this, your economic input, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna submit. And I think oftentimes, like when we hear women are strong, or when we hear independent, or when we hear certain things, it's like I feel like strong is a word that we kind of like don't really know how to define because a lot of times, sometimes you hear women say stuff like you hear some women say stuff like, "Oh, you just got to deal with it," like, or they'll say like, "Oh, I'm sweet, but I'm worth it. I'm worth the trouble," or they'll say like, "Oh, I'm a good woman. I'm just a little like." It's almost like the negative things that they got is almost like men have to accept that. It's almost like we have to accept your baggage. We have to accept what you come with, and then it's like, and a lot of times it comes with disrespect. A lot of times it comes with like, further emasculating the man, right? Like if you don't make as much money as you, especially in the black community, right? Like a lot of times, oftentimes the black woman is making more money than the black men. So I think like, again, like somebody else mentioned this before, like when a woman makes more money than her man, she automatic it's almost like this subconscious thing of like I ain't gotta submit. And that's not every black woman, but it just comes with the complex of making more money. It's just like men, right? Men that make a lot of money and they feel like I pay for everything, they feel entitled to you.
Right.
So it's almost like the same thing. Like when a woman makes more money than the man, and the man try to like have or he try to play the head of the household role, right? Like, cause I'm the man of the house, or it's like, no, you're not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I'm the head of the household. You know what I'm saying? I make the most bread, and I think like you mentioned, like in certain situations, it's like it's rare when you see like the woman is making most of the money, but she cool. She's submitting to her man. She's
Right.
just like, you got the last say so. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I think that it's very tricky in today's society, given to like the the disparities between the man and the woman in the black community, and the amount of money that they make.
Right.
And I think like again, we're looking at I think society looks at submission like, well, if you're not making more money than me, then what am I submitting to? Because
Definitely.
then it's like, if he doesn't make more money than you, and you still expecting him to pay for you, because some women really do expect the man to pay for their nails. They expect the man to do the man's right, the man, the provider, and maintainer. But like, you're making more money than him. So I think like some things are unrealistic. And then it's like, oh, if like game setting the thing, right? If you don't got it, go get it. Like, it's like, okay, one, you're an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, for one,
so
he got it. So
no, I get that, but one, you're an entertainer, right? So it's like, but let's talk about the realities, right? Let's talk about people. Everybody not an entertainer. Let's talk about people that have regular jobs, right? And so I kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man. And I said this to you before, like, I don't think I should be paying for your nails. I don't. Me personally, like, if you want to get your nails done, if you want to do that, if you want to go get fake lashes, if you want to have weave in your hair every 2 weeks, if you want to do certain things, you go do that, because I don't. That's not something, you're not doing that for me. You're not like, at the end of the day, it's like I don't need that. I don't get nothing from that. And most of the time, like, I want to be with a woman who hair is real, who her natural beauty, who has her natural beauty. Because at the end of the day, I gotta wake up next to that. So I don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying. You look one way, I met you one way outside, and then like we get married, we come home, and it's like you look totally different in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Lashes off, makeup off, ponytail off. It's like that's not what I'm trying to marry. So at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't endorse that, and I wouldn't pay for that, right? Like, I would want you to be, because again, at the end of the day, I feel like those things are low key borderline insecurities. So I wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, once in a while it's cool, but some of these sisters, they just can't go without. So the point is, I think like, yeah, when it comes to submission, I think like I just want respect at the end of the day. You don't need to. I could cook my own food. I could do my own things. Somebody said you look like you want to boom me,
that's just
but I
fun.
was like, I could do my own thing. So it's like, I think when it comes to household chores, right? And I've been in situations where I was the one that cleaned, right? Because a lot of these women that are being raised today, they're not doing domestic work. They trying to, what's the word? They trying to change the narrative. So a lot of them are not learning how to cook. A lot of them are not doing domestic household work, right? In the name of feminism, in the name of trying to be free from the bondage of the house. So a lot of these women do not have domestic skills, but I'm gonna tell you like this: I know how to do those things for myself. So I feel like a woman can't even come to me and be like, "Well, I cook and I clean and I do the laundry," because I do my own stuff. I cook, clean, and do my laundry. So it's like that don't mean nothing to me. You understand what I'm saying? So to me, it's like, what are you saying? I could do those things too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could change diapers too. I could rear a child too. You know what I'm saying? It might not be just like you, but at the same time, it's like I could do those things. So you can't, to with me, you can't say like, well, I stay home and I cook and I clean and I'll do this. And it's like, you don't have to cook and clean and do that. Like, we could both work and we could both do that. We could both alternate doing those things or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, it's not the average understanding of like, well, he goes to work and I just be home cooking, cleaning, and doing that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, real quick. I hear what you're saying, and I want to address several things that you said, right? But just that last little bit that you said, you're absolutely right. All of these things are learned, right? Like, women are not innately, they don't innately wash dishes better. We don't innately clean the
How you
laundry.
know?
These are skills that we all can learn, right? The same thing when it comes to even taking care of children, right? Now, being nurturing and stuff like that, that is something that does come naturally to women, right? But that is not something that men cannot learn how to do, right? And we see it plenty of times, right? But my whole thing is, I think that specifically, I think for me, it's not necessarily about going back to what you said about somebody telling me that, oh, they wash the dishes, they clean the laundry, they take care of the house, and oh, well, I don't need that, and that's something I could do myself. We both can do it, absolutely, right? But when I built a family, and from my own experience, from me being raised in a family household, you know what I'm saying? The person that does that really carries the house, right? The person that takes care of home really carries the home. There's nothing that feels better than when you come home from work, because I've been on both spectrums. When you come home from work and the dishes are clean, and there's a plate of food for you, and your laundry is folded up, and the bed is made up, and you don't have to worry about your house. You know what's so annoying? When you work a full 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, every Saturday, every other Saturday, your 2 days off that you get, you got to worry about running around and doing errands, doing household errands, because that's a whole day of rest that you got to put aside to actually, take care of the household. It's annoying. People don't like to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Or that's just another added burden. So whether or not that be the man or the woman, it don't have to be specific to gender, who comes in and takes care of the household. That is something that is very valuable, personally, to me.
It's
Right?
not. Is that not specific to gender though? Come on, let's be honest.
No, no, it usually is specific to gender, but
Okay.
I'm saying for
Okay.
me,
Okay.
right? Like it could be the woman could go ahead and she could it
Cause you ain't letting no man stay at home.
me?
Yeah, you.
Who said that?
So come on. So so you would sit here and have a house hubby.
You don't know me very well. I
No,
feel
no, no, no. I'm asking you a question. So you would
yes.
sit here. All right.
I started
uh,
off this conversation, but people have to hold on.
I think you
I start
chat, but
I
but but
start
okay.
I started off, right? I started off by saying people have to figure out what works for them, right? I
I think
am
you chatting though, but go ahead. But proceed.
That's fine. But yeah, I started this conversation by saying people have to realize like what works for them. At the end of the day, we all have a goal that we have to reach. And whenever I think of submission, I think about submission, I think about marriage, I think about households. When I think about a household, at the end of the day, it's not about gender roles. It's not about you being a man, me being a woman. It's about getting what needs to be done, done. It's about me going to the finish line. It's not
Hold
about
on.
hold on. It's not about me focusing on, oh, I'm a woman, so I'm supposed to wash the dishes. You're supposed to go to work. It's about us going, at the end of the day, our whole objective is taking care of these kids, getting these bills paid. So if that means, and if it works better for me that I go, because I get paid more, it just works better for my household that I actually go to work and you stay inside the house. And just because you stay inside the house as a man does not mean that you're not making any money. That's an assumption that's being made. I have no problem with a man that is staying home, still bringing in income in whatever way. It don't have to be as much as me. You know what I'm saying? And take care of the house. Who said I got a problem with that?
Hold on. You the same person that sat here and said you not going half on no rent.
I'm not.
All right then. Hold on. But you just now said it's about the home. It's about what we need to get
Right.
done. It's not about gender
When
roles.
you're
It's
done, let me.
hold on. So and one talk, yeah, sit back and sip your
Yeah.
your little tea. And
Yeah.
and and in one hand, you sit here saying, I don't have no problem going out to get it and paying the full rent, right? You don't got a problem paying the full rent, right? But you got a problem with going half on the rent.
I don't split rent.
Hold on. That doesn't make sense.
First of all, we kind of getting personal because that was a
No,
conversation that we had outside of
no,
this.
no, no, that's not personal. What I'm saying is this. We're sitting here and you refuted a point that I made. So I'm refuting a point that you made.
Right.
Is this not this will have nothing to do with personal.
Right.
So cause ain't nothing personal here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just listening. This is what I do. I listen to people and then I'll be like, hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait,
So
wait a minute. So I'm saying this. It just doesn't make sense to me that you don't got no problem paying the whole rent, but then you got a problem splitting the rent with a
mhm,
man.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It just help me understand the logic.
Right. I'll help you understand. I'm not splitting anything. You're absolutely right. I stand on what I said. I'm not splitting the rent. And let's break it down and let's put it down to a little smaller little example, right? Say I go out to dinner with a person, right? I personally, I'm not the type of person. There's some people that when they go out with their friends, they split the rent. I mean, they split the rent. They split the bill. You know what I'm saying? Everybody comes, and some people even more picky. Not even only do they split the rent, they come and they go, oh, I ordered this, this, that, and the third, and I ordered this, this, that, and the third, and they get separate checks. You know what I'm saying? They don't even split the bill. I don't do that. When me and my friends go out, how I usually am as a person, you know what I'm saying? One person pays the whole bill. Because I got you this time, you got me next time. Shorty over there got me next time. That's usually how it goes. I don't believe in splitting things. Now, some people, I have split this stuff sometimes because some people are like that. And I ask sometimes, you want to split it? You want to pay it? Blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom. I ask sometimes because everybody does not necessarily move the same way that I move. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I don't believe in splitting certain things. That's petty to me. That don't make no sense. So if it is a situation where I am, it's about, at the end of the day, like I said, it's not about gender roles. It's about who's bringing in most of the money. So if I'm bringing in most of the money, it only makes sense for me to pay the rent. I'm not going to go and split the rent with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not splitting rent. We're not splitting rent. Whoever brings in the most amount of money or whatever works for either one of us is who's going to be paying that rent. Period. We ain't splitting nothing. I take care of this bill, you take care of that bill. Now, whether it be I take care of the mortgage and you take care of the groceries, you take care of the utilities, whatever we talking about, you know what I'm saying? Then that's something else. But I'm not gonna go, oh, I'm gonna go half on electric bill. We're gonna go half on groceries. Oh, that's I don't participate in those activities. Now, what you do is what you do. But like I said, I'm not splitting rent.
All right, cool. I hear you. I'm just saying, man. To me, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just going by what you said. Like, I was just trying to
Yeah,
understand you.
I,
I was, I was just trying to understand you a little better. You know,
yeah,
that's a fact.
but
Highest paid, pay the rent. Lowest paid. All right, that makes sense. My boy said that's fact. Highest paid, pay the rent. Lowest paid, pay the utilities. You know what I'm saying? I knew a sister. She used to be like, I'm trying to buy a crib. I'm looking for somebody to go half on this crib with me. You know what I'm saying? How how you feel about that? All right. So because she was talking about she trying to buy a home and she was just like, we need to go half on a home.
right.
So how do you feel about that?
Oh, at the end of the day, that's what works for them. That's what works for them.
That's what I asked you. See, like,
That,
I know if that's what works for them, that's what works for them. I'm asking you, how do you feel about if you're trying to buy a house with your spouse and your spouse is to say like, you know what, like let's go half on the crib. So if the crib is $200,000,
a
you
hundred,
call,
100,000.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're okay with that? Splitting the cost of the house.
You can't ask me if I'm okay with that because it depends on the situation. But if the depending on the situation, yeah, okay, cool. I put 100K, you put 100K. That's fine.
All right, then that's it. That's it. You trying to make this a rocket science? It's not rocket science. It's just because you know splitting rent is one thing, and then it's like buying going half on a crib. It's similar, but it's
So boom, there's a situation, boom, like this, right? Let me pick another example, right? Same thing with the house situation, right? So say we in a situation, right, where I make more money than you, right? You make, excuse me, you make 50 G's a year, I make 70 G's a year, right? We come to the conclusion, right? And in most situations, people don't think like this, right? In most situations, the person that makes the most money thinks that they should pay for majority of the things, right? But if we in a situation where we ain't married yet or we think about getting married and we want to purchase a home or whatever like that, right? My ideology and how I would think about it goes like this, right? I make most of the money, right? With your 50 G's, you can take care of what we got going on here, me and you know what I'm saying, and be fine. We can live fine, right? Because I make the most money, I'm able to save the most money. So if I don't spend or I spend a very, very low percentage of my money, by the end of the year, I could be looking at 60K saved up. That's more than enough to put down on a house, right? So you had so this for this first year you sacrifice, right? Let's say we just having a year. For this first year, you sacrifice your income to take care of both of us. Second year come, I'm putting down 60K, you know what I'm saying, for the house that we are purchasing together, right? So that's something, you see what I'm talking about? Like that's a situation where, I might have put down 60K, right, for the crib, but now we coming together and now paying the mortgage, right? Or I'm paying the mortgage, right? See, relationships and usually how submission goes, it's reciprocal, like, right? So it's not, oh, I'm saying we doing this is what we doing, that's it. No, it's we doing this because at the end of the day, this is this objective, this is this goal, and I'm gonna trust you to lead. So I just made that a different example, just to provide a little bit insight
All
of.
right. So when you said submission is reciprocal, like what is the version of a man submitting to his woman, or should a man submit to his woman?
So when I say it's reciprocal, I'm saying you can't. All right, if you expect me to, not expect me, if I'm submitting to you, what am I submitting to? What are you providing me with? You cannot expect me to submit to you and you are not providing me with anything. And provision does not equate to money, right? It's not always about money. It's not always like, oh, I'm submitting to you because you make majority of the money. It's about provision. It's about meeting a need, right? What are my needs? And can you provide these needs, right? If I see that you can and you have proven yourself to, that is what I am submitting to. If that answers your question, it's
You
not.
submit. You submit to the bag.
Mm,
Nah, let me stop. Let me stop. No, no, no. Somebody said, I feel like you should wait and get your own home because people change over time. So, and I think like sometimes that's what happens, right? I think that like this, I think that's like the biggest fear of people in marriage and doing things together, because like when you separate, then it's like how you separate assets, right? Like the crib and certain things, right? And I think that that's some of the things that one of my homegirls was talking about, because she was just saying like if things go sour, then we both. She was basically saying like when we sign for the crib, we're signing for it like on some partnership. So like even if we both go sour, we still both part owners in the house,
mm-hmm.
and we still kind of gotta like decide what's gonna happen with that. Um, so I think that, but yeah, on the topic of submission, like I think that like I think that's in today's society, right? Like even when we hear about women trying to get more money, like it's like a lot of times people don't realize, and I made a video about the reason why men get more money than women, right? And it's because in this patriarchal society is incumbent upon the man to take care of the woman, right? Things are changing, and the independent women's of the world are out here and they're doing, and they want to be the ones wearing the pants, right? And they don't want to give up the pants. So that's cool. But I think that people need to realize that like when you make, like if we was to make the same amount of money, you can't expect me to still do the, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect me to still do the same things that was expected of us under patriarchy. And I think that that's the thing that people don't get. Like women will be like, some women will be like, oh, we want more money. Why we can't get more money? But then it's like you still want the perks. You still want like, I
Right.
gotta pay for the dinner. I gotta get you gifts. I gotta do all of these things. I was watching a show where the woman said, I only give 30% of whatever my man gives me. So if he gives me a gift, if he gives me $1,000, I might give him 300. I might buy him something for like 300. So and with a mindset like this of like with a mindset of you gotta spend on me, or you gotta get over on me, right? Because it's like, to her, she was saying it don't make sense. If you give me $1,000, why would I give you $1,000 back? She was saying it doesn't make sense, right? It's so she was just like, you always gotta get whatever. But the point is, that's the mindset. The mindset is, well, I think I'm going to get the same amount of pay, but at the same time, you're going to cover all the expenses.
Right.
You're gonna pay for the dinners. You're gonna buy me gifts. You're gonna shower me. You're gonna do this. And you're gonna take care of the kids, and we have kids, right? So then it's like it's that thing. Like, no, you're not gonna get that.
See,
It don't work.
that's
It,
a
it don't it don't work like that, right? Like it's like you not. And this is what I try to tell people: if you're gonna give up making less money as a woman, if you're gonna give that up, you're gonna give up. You should give up the perks that come, because if you want to talk about dismantling patriarchy, that's part of patriarchy. That
mm-hmm.
the man got to pull out your chair, pulling out the chair. They don't want to say like, oh no, that's just decent, that's just courtesy, but that's still part of patriarchy. The
Right.
fact that I have to pull your chair, the fact that I have to open the door for you,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you might get to the door before me and you will wait for me to open the door, like it's like, yo, you could have opened the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so walking down the street, people be like, oh, you got to walk on the outside. You got to walk on the outside of the sidewalk. Like all of these things are aspects of patriarchy. So it's like, if we really trying to dismantle it, like we got to dismantle all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
Right.
at the end of the day, that's not every woman, right? There's a lot of women who's like, yo, I'm cool. I'm cool with making less money. I'm cool with you covering and you paying for me, and being gentle and being taken care of, and being, a lot of some women are cool with that. So I'm not talking about those women, but I think like society is on some fake moving into a direction, or maybe that's just what they're pushing in the media, to make us believe that it's going in that direction.
No, 1,000% I agree with what you said. And I think that like you said, if we're gonna dismantle patriarchy, then we need to dismantle it on all accords, right? We can't sit up here as women and make more money than a man, but then require him, like you said, if he gives me $1,000, I'm only gonna give him $300 back. That is unethical. What, like, that's not a relationship. Like, you just taking advantage at that point. So I definitely don't agree with that. And I think that going back, like you said, I feel like um in society, especially with this new wave of feminism, right? Things are definitely changing. And women are definitely coming to the table, demanding men to make women are still demanding men, and their standards are still kind of set under patriarchy, right? So you, this feminist, right? You believe in smashing patriarchy, but you still come to the table demanding that this man pay for the dinner, demanding that this man come and spend most of his money on you, demanding that this man's value isn't heavily in how much money he has in his pockets. And that's all under patriarchy. And I think that submission now is often equated to weakness. And I think the reason being is because a lot of women don't come from households where they actually seen a true leader, right? A lot of people have grown up in households that are run by women, that are run by matriarchs, that they haven't actually seen a healthy household that is run by a man. So oftentimes when they are approached with that thought, it something about it intimidates them because they've never seen it. So what the media has portrayed is that to be submissive is to be weak, right? And it means that, you just sit in your corner and, whatever your husband tells you to go do, that's what you do. And in actuality, people who actually come from that know that that's not actually what it means, right? And so I think that submission is actually, to me, it's like is strength, right? It's not weakness, right? It's
It's
strength.
funny. It's funny. It's funny not to cut you off because you mentioned like these white women be coming out here talking about woman power, and then they go home to their husbands.
And you know what she do? If and a majority of the time, these white men are making more than their white women. We know that because they scream at the top of their lungs about that stupid, what's the cent stuff? What they said, something cent to the dollar.
64 cents. They make 64, have 74 cents or 84
Yeah,
cents or something like that.
right. That's white women's problem.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they scream to the top of their lungs, blah blah blah. They coming home today, man, who make more than them, and they going in that kitchen, and Becky's making that casserole. Okay, like let's put it a buck, but that's a whole nother thing. Like, submission is a sign of strength, right? Like the person surrendering is the one who has control. And this person, the person who submits, is not a person that is unable. Is not a person that is unable to lead. It's not a person that is unable to be independent, right? That means this woman is independent. This woman does have the ability to lead, but she's choosing of her own free will to surrender, right? Like to the authority of another person, right? But at the end of the day, going back to what I said, we got to remember, who are we submitting to? So this is, we gotta, it's an objective. To me, this is how I think about it, right? In relationships, right? And when I think about my family, what is the objective? What is the goal? Right? So if the goal is for us to build a household, to whatever we decide to build, whatever we want to build, right? In terms of children, you know what I'm saying? I'm submitting to you, and your ultimate goal is that. And depending on under what relation, what religion or whatever you practice, that's like, it's like a house and like a bubble. So like the bubble is God, the house is what we are in, right? So it's like I'm submitting to you, you submit to this. It's like, I don't know how to like
Yeah.
to describe it.
Hierarchy. It's like a hierarchy of submission.
Right, exactly. So ultimately, we all submitting, what I'm saying, to God, right? But like within this household, what I'm saying, this is what I'm submitting to, right? And I would like to submit to my husband in that way, right? But also to a person who has proven himself to be worthy of being submitted to, right? So yeah, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of
Yeah, nah, it makes sense. So somebody wrote, it's a lot of comments. They going in the comments. Yo, make sure y'all like the video though, so it can circulate. I appreciate y'all having the whole conversation. This is good. This is a good topic. Somebody said that like black women have a problem submitting. How do you feel about that? Like let them know, because you're a realist. You know what I'm saying? You keep it real. You know what I'm saying? You say a lot of things that upset black women. You know what I'm saying? You the female Kevin Samuels, they said.
I I know. I know. Um I think that it's true. It's true. And even though it don't make us feel good, it don't mean that it's not the truth, right? And I think it goes back again to what you said, right? I do think there are a lot of black women that want to submit at the end of the day. I think that's not our nature, right? I really, it would no, I don't care what no woman says, right? It don't feel good to have to be strong all the time. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. It doesn't feel good to go outside, have to work 40, 50 hours a week, and then come home and run everything in your house. It doesn't feel good to have all that pressure on your shoulders. It doesn't. It feels good when you're around a person that you could release some of that pressure, some of that responsibility on, that you could look to another person and go, hey, like, I really can't deal with this, or I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? You know what I'm saying? Because you lead me. You know what I'm saying? That feels good, right? But again, like I said, I think a lot of us haven't been raised in those households. So it's hard for us to picture those things, and it's hard for us to let go of that control, right? It's a trauma response almost. You know what I'm saying? Like we're so um certain women, right? Are used to being abandoned. Certain women are used to not having those strong, positive um, role models in their households. And so when they're presented with that, sometimes it's hard for them to see, right? And all it really requires is for you to let go of that I'm strong, I'm resilient, I don't need nobody, I don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so I definitely feel like, black women definitely do struggle with that. And I know where it comes from. And I'm not sitting up here like, trying to bash y'all, but we know we gotta work on it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta work on it. We know what happened, we know why it happened. All right, here's the result. What we gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? So
That,
a lot
and
of times.
that's real. And like, make sure you like the video, y'all. Nah, but I feel like I be saying the same thing, and I think like it's hard to find like I think like yeah, like it's hard for like women to like admit certain things. It's hard for women to apologize. It's hard for them to say sorry when they're wrong. It's hard for them to do some of these things. And I think like, and I be telling sisters this, I try to give them advice, and I be like, yo, like think about this. If a man, because it's easy for men to apologize. I feel like it's hard for men to apologize to other men.
Right.
I think like it's hard for men to tell another man like, yo, my bad, I'm sorry. Like
Don't apologize. That's
You
a
know what
fact.
I'm saying? So I think like, but when it comes to domestic relationships between man and woman, it's hard for women to tell a man like, yo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you feel this
That's
way.
a fact.
You know what I'm saying? I apologize. Like it was my fault. Like if anything, they'll just try to like sleep with you when they know they did something wrong. They'll try to like, you know,
Talk nice to you, calm you
yeah.
down. Then yeah.
It's like the meme about the black mothers. There was like black mothers don't apologize.
Yep.
They just
Action.
ask you if you want something to eat. You hungry? You want
Yes.
something from the store? You want some new sneakers?
Yes.
Like,
That's a
and I think that it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy that like, and I tell women and I tell sisters all the time. I be like, do you know how annoying it is for a man that every time he does wrong, he has to be like, I'm my bad. He's always being held accountable, right? Accountability is always on his shoulder. It's he's always being reminded of his wrong. Even months later, you don't forget it. You always reminded him of his wrong. And
mm-hmm.
when you do wrong and you continuously just sweep it under the rug, do you know that bruise in the mind of that man? You know what I'm saying? Like it grows, and it's like, and then for you to never apologize,
Yeah.
and then when he spaz, or then he's like, yo, you do mad stuff, and then they want to be like, I don't do nothing.
Women
Uh,
are I say this all the time. Women are lawless. That's a fact. Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So like it's like, and I think like sometimes people don't get it, and it's like, and then they wonder why the relationship goes sour, right? Like
Yeah.
once people get frustrated in a situation where it's like, yo, you never take accountability for your stuff, you never apologize for your stuff, you
It's
start to become a burden. You start to become a burden to that man. So I
yeah.
think that, and I tell sisters this all the time, right? Like they'll be like, I ain't do nothing. And it's like, yo, all the little stuff, all the emotional, mental distress you put this man to, oh, you ain't a real man. Like so manipulative, right? Like it's like, if I don't buy you this, if I don't give you this, if I don't run to go do this for you, it's like you're not a real man. And then they start mentioning some women go to the extent of mentioning other men. They'll be like, or they'll start mentioning their girlfriend, her man, he go,
Feeding into
so
patriarchy, right? So do you want to destroy it, or do you want to perpetuate?
So I just think that all of those things get in the way. And somebody was mentioning like the women don't want to give up the pants, like I said earlier. And the women we get why black women had to. assume the role.
Right.
We get that. I
Yeah,
also get that there are not a lot of alpha males out there, and I think it's and so I think we have,
that's another
if
one.
there's not a lot of alpha males, and then there's a lot of masculine women,
Yeah.
and feminine men. And I think this is the whole thing of society, right? There's some reports talking about like marijuana got like some agents that feminize men. I don't know how true it is, right? They also were saying that like in prison they feed men a lot of soy. Soy is proven to produce more estrogen in men. Soy formula is also bad for babies. So this is why it's important. And I be trying to tell our sisters, yo, try to breastfeed your kids. Like
Yeah.
if you can't do that, try to pump. It's very important because you feeding them this formula that is bad for them. Don't listen to the doctors telling you it's healthy and this is this and this is that. Like I'm telling you, the medical field will be playing with you. But anyway, um, so this is what I was trying to say. Like, this is just the byproducts of stuff, right? Our woman had to wear the pants. She cool. She don't. And I think like when people who never had power come into a position of power, like
Hmm.
white supremacy has placed the black woman above the black men. I don't care who don't want to agree with it. That's a
Hmm.
fact. The black woman is the only woman who makes more money than her man, and a lot of times they're more educated than their man. And we're not gonna sit here like this. This is not like a choice thing, right?
That's
Like
a
it's so they are put in a pedestal by white supremacy, right? And they do that purposely, right? Because they know the woman going to look down upon their man that can't produce.
fact.
So when we look at that, it's like you can't keep it's that, and then there's also the beta males, and then it's like it's like we have to figure it out, and instead of like trying to, like I say all the time, right? The white woman not trying to bang on the white man, she just want to be like him. You know what I'm saying? She just want to be like him. She
Talk,
not out here, she not out here trying to bang on him.
talk about it.
She begging the white man to be like, please let me eat at the table the same dish that you eat.
Talk
I
about it.
want I want to oppress them with you. I want to oppress them with you. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying? But the black woman, she looking at the black man like I got the power to stop you from working somewhere. Like I got the power to stop you from going to a certain school. Like I got the power to do certain things to you. I'm not your enemy. I'm not the problem. I'm not stopping you. I'm not oppressing you.
Right.
Now, I might be mistreating you. You know what I'm saying? We might be having our issues at home. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I might be doing certain things that are detrimental to our relationship
Hmm.
and our cohesiveness. Yes. But to sit here and say, I am oppressing you,
Hmm.
is a false narrative that has been preached to our sisters.
Right. Yeah, black men are in no position to oppress us, right, as women. And I definitely agree with you, like everything that you said. White women have historically, when it comes to feminism, right, and it's a whole nother topic. We could definitely do an episode on this. Women definitely what we need not to forget, right? And in a lot of movies, I think when we watched Nat Turner movie, right?
Yeah.
What specifically something that I remembered, right, was that fact that how they always within media, right, they always portray white women to be these women, right, who were against slavery, right, or who felt a way about it, or who would come and save the slaves from getting their ass whipped, right? And that is a lie, right? And that is not true, right? And white women were standing right next or right behind their husbands throughout the entire time that they were oppressing us, right? This has benefited them, right? Going back to, like you said, feminism is white women's problem that they have with their men. That's white folks' business. Let's stay up out of it. It has nothing to do with this. Even going back to the whole original white women's movement when it was voting for a right to vote, like going back to, like you said, they just wanted the right to vote. They just wanted to do what they men was doing. And we didn't get a right to vote, and don't quote me, till several decades later. You know what I'm saying? Black men didn't get it right, and then black women, right? But so then we have these black women though that were used though, right? That were utilized during this women's movement, right? And this is the same thing that is happening now. What are we as black women benefiting from in this feminism?
Yeah, definitely.
Not
It's
real,
and
but
it's
that got
and it's crazy because we could get into like a whole And like we probably should do an old topic on this, like even with the rape culture, right? Like, and I think rape culture should be its own topic. Like, so I'm not even really gonna touch upon it a lot, but I think like even when it comes to rape, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, notice, notice how white people support each other. Like white people been going around dismantling people, right? They've been dismantling societies, countries, nations, tribes, and the way they do it is by dividing and conquering. And then somebody asked me like, well, why we can't do the same thing to them? I said because white people stick together no matter what. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I give you an example about rape. Get an example. White people, there's a whole bunch of white rapists in the white community. There's a whole bunch of white famous pedophiles, rapos in the white community.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see white people coming out here talking about them all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment there was allegations on Bill Cosby, the
Mm-hmm.
moment we heard about the R. Kellys of the world, the moment we hear about the Michael Jacksons, the moment we hear about Kobe Bryant, Tupac,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, anybody that's black that has an allegation of rape, the black people will be swarming in. And it might not even be proven, but the black people will be swarming in, talking crazy. Mind you, these will be people who have a rape uncle in the family who've been touching the little nieces for years and nobody say nothing. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's just like when the media feed us certain things, we just be wilding, right? But picture, I'm telling you, pay attention. White people, I mean, somebody disagreed, but white people do not be coming out here the same way black people be coming. They don't bring the same energy. They don't bring the same type of energy when there's on white people's shoes. They don't make a big deal. They don't do what we do. Like we be quick. It's like we be sitting here waiting to just tear somebody down. We just be waiting to snatch whatever somebody built away from them. And again, I'm against people that rape. I'm against people who commit these harms to kids, to women. You know what I'm saying? I'm against these people. I'm just trying to show you how white people, when it will be another white person who raped, they'll be like, oh, let's just wait it out in court. Let's see what the court system say. You know what I'm saying? Let's just see what the outcome is. This is exactly what they do. They don't come out and make all these crazy tweets and condemn the people who are accused of certain things. And that's just an example of how white people stick together and they try to preserve whiteness at all costs.
Mm. Go ahead, King.
Um, so I just wanted to say that. But like I think we know it's about to be a 50 minutes. I don't know. We was talking about submission and then we went all over the place. But yeah, I think we do have to take the narrative away from like submitting to the bag. You know what I'm saying? And I think submission should be like if your leader of your tribe is not going to be rich, he's not going to be a rich king. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is what people fail to realize. A lot of times there comes some man that have wisdom, but they don't have the riches. And I think like because we live in a capitalist society, like somebody said, we equate wisdom with riches.
Mm.
And it's not the same thing. Like a man could be a good leader. He could be a good leader for this tribe, and he don't got the riches. And in today's society, we'll be like, well, he don't got the riches, so we're not gonna follow him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it happens with artists all the time. The better artists, the ones that are talking some conscious stuff, they don't get play like that. So they don't get the riches.
Mm-hmm.
But the ignorant ones, they get the riches and they get the follows.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that, what I'm saying, I think we just got to work on understanding like what submission is and what is important to build healthy households. Anything else, my sister?
No. Right on, brother. I agree with everything that you said.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was good. A lot of people, people getting in, but we definitely gonna have a segment about rape culture, and because it's gonna be tough. A lot of people saying stuff about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and so we gonna say this for the rape culture. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of black people who've been accused of rape. I think society. I think society. You know what? I'm gonna just say that.
I'll save that.
But y'all have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all share the video. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.